Hello, everyone. Uh, I was, I wasn't going over Facebook and YouTube. Last night, I was working out uh, and looking at myself in the mirror and looking old. Old. It's old. Okay. Uh, but there's other times I'm working out and looking at myself in the mirror. I think, yeah, I'm looking pretty good. And that kind of back and forth in my head as I was really high and really tired and endorphined out from tearing my muscles to shreds, uh, I was reminded of a couple things that I've read and watched over the years. Donald Hoffman initially came up in my head. Again, working out, high, going over stuff in my head. Uh, that we don't see reality. In fact, that we don't even. Not only do we not see reality, we only experience our memories of what our brain has interpreted. Uh, watch Donald Hoffman stuff. He goes, I think, too far in a lot of ways. Uh, I think with him and a lot of people, the notion that we don't see reality and everything seems magical and strange, uh, then gives permission to go, well, everything is magical and strange, and everything goes. And there's clearly a base reality of some sort. We don't see it, and we only remember what our brain interprets. So we don't actually see or experience, we only experience our memory. Fraction of a second after we make it, but the information first goes to our brain. Our brain interprets it, puts it into memory, and then we experience our consciousness, our awareness, whatever you want to, however you want to think of that. The phrasing, the name is important, but we don't have a good one yet. But our experience, our conscious experience, is only our conscious experience of our memory from moments before. So there's a lot of algorithmic adjustments going on. The other thing that, as I was looking at myself in the mirror and thinking about perspective and perception and how some days I think I look good and some days I think I look bad, and I was thinking of body dysmorphia and how people can actually see themselves as ugly when they're not, or see themselves as skinny when they're actually big. Uh, the other research paper I read some time ago, I can't remember who wrote it or internet. I read something somewhere on the internet, but it was a paper done where they did some studies on perception, and they had people that were experienced hikers that were very experienced in telling what a grade of a hill was. They had them one group say how steep that hill was, and then they had another group put on heavy packs and then say how steep the hill was, and their perception changed based on the amount of effort it would take to go up the hill. So the people that had heavier packs saw it as steeper. And so our brain is telling us all the time, or it's working out effort. So way back in the day when we were swinging from trees and hiking through the woods, we didn't understand what hill gradient was. We didn't. It's all just instinctive, and our bodies had to figure out a way to tell our decider, our consciousness, whatever it is that's making us motivate in a particular direction at a particular time for a particular reason, that it's giving us a visual representation of what it would take or what it would feel like or how much energy we would need or how difficult a task is. It's we don't we back in the day, now we're a little bit better, but back way back when, and in animals as well, I'm assuming, it just showed you that if you're carrying something, it's going to be harder. And instead of saying that or realizing it in your head, it just gave you the adjusted image, the adjusted perspective based on your current status. And all this is going on in the back of your head, in your subconscious, all the time, and we're not even aware of it. So not only do we not see reality, our brain is actively adjusting what we see based on how we feel. And I I would always, one of the reasons it struck me is that I always had problems with people with body dysmorphia, even though I have a bit of it with the whole seeing myself as scrawny when I'm, I guess, not. Um, it always bothered me how could the brain, and I know it's in my head, it's like, well, yeah, you can have issues with the brain and hormones, but with this realization or that connection, and I'm sure other people have made this connection as well, that connection that your brain is actively distorting your perception to fit effort required or goal achieved, or based on where you are, what you're doing, where and your physical abilities, it is actually changing what you see. It also reminded me kind of like a HUD, the virtual reality. Donald Hoffman says we live in a virtual reality, and that's true. But I think it's even more removed from reality. We only just not see reality. We see an augmented virtual reality. So we don't see what's really there. We only experience our memory of what our brain has already adjusted and augmented for us. So we don't see reality, and we see what our brain puts on top of that reality to inform us of things other than reality, like effort. And you put all that together, and it's pretty amazing. It's incredible what Mother Nature was able to use, and how it figured out through trial and error, of course, how to best survive. And I can clearly see how in today's world, where we have information that is better than intuition and our brain's augmented distortion of the reality that it lets us see and experience, we're having some troubles. And I think this is going to get more and more apparent. And I don't know if there's really a fix. Perhaps Elon Musk's Neuralink, where we can record a memory and have it locked in on like silicon so it doesn't change. Because when we remember things, when we actively remember things, even when we don't actively remember things, our brain is altering what we remember, which is why eyewitness testimony is near useless. But every time we remember something, our brain adds to it or takes away from it, and we don't, without our control. And so if we had an externalized memory recording so that we could see what we actually saw or what we actually experienced originally, and we could compare that to what our brain has altered throughout the days that we don't refer back to that solid recording, I think it's going to show that man, it's pretty incredible that we've gotten as far as we've gotten. And we need to put more effort into science, medical research, and trying to figure out exactly where we fall short and try and make systems to compensate. And we already are. Anyway, that was just a thought I had last night. I wanted to get it off my chest. An old friend posted on my last video saying I'm missing my workout partner to bounce ideas off of. I am. Working out isn't the same. It's different. It's still good. It still sucks. It's still great. It's all the things. But now I have the entire internet to bounce ideas off of. And I'm just going to make do with that for now. Peace.